Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California. That'd be Los Angeles, quite specifically. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Agree to Disagree here on TheNewAmericanMedia.com, the TNAM radio network, because the news always matters. I'm your host, Brian Engelman, and we are going to be covering some of the real stories that you need to be paying attention to this week. And of course, before that, we're going to be bringing in Blake the eccentric Walley. He is also a radio host and activist. Welcome him into the program. You can check out all of our archived shows with Blake. And last week we had a marathon episode with John B. Wells of Caravan to Midnight, another radio host. All that stuff's online. All you have to do is take a look. TheNewAmericanMedia.com. And on the bottom right of that, you have the Twitter feed. You can click that. It's at American_media_. Follow us there. There's the little Facebook thing on the bottom right of of TheNewAmericanMedia.com. And if you do a search for The New American Media on Facebook with spaces in between, you can like our page. And of course, make sure you subscribe to YouTube.com/, you guessed it, The New American Media. Now, during Ohio State Buckeye season, for football season specifically, we might call it The New AmericanMedia.com. Because they always call it The Ohio State University. And we do a show called The Unhappy Hour, which is a sports show. And you can listen to those programs archived as well. We're going to be talking with NBA scout Zach Barris about Andrew Wiggins and the Cleveland Cavaliers, talk about all the trades on the horizons, the free agent moves, LeBron, Carmelo, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. Go down the list. There's going to be a lot of that. So we do a couple of different shows here, and you can check them all out, which is my request. So, I have a few things to talk to you about today. And we're going to split the show up into two different pieces. Of course, we're going to get to the IRS. We're going to get to this flood, this orchestrated invasion of the southern U.S. border. And the fact that a Mexican helicopter actually crossed into U.S. territory and fired on U.S. Border Patrol. I think on Thursday. That'd be yesterday, I believe. Things are just getting really weird. But first, we got to talk about this story about this police officer in Utah when he pulled out his gun and killed. It's endemic. It's we have a problem in this country. The police are not protecting and serving. And I've had personal experiences, and I've followed some stories closely, such as Fullerton police killing Kelly Thomas as he was sitting down on a curb. Like, they beat him to death. There's no de-escalation. And one of the things I learned quickly in high school was you need to de-escalate situations when you can, because when you sink to violence, nobody wins. And this us versus them mentality from police more and more across the country, it's got to stop. These are our employees. We have to demand better than this. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in Blake the eccentric Walley into the program now, and we're going to cover this, and we're going to check out this video of this guy as he confronts the police officers after they shot and killed his dog.
Hello.
Blake, you are live on the air, sir. Welcome to Agree to Disagree. How you doing today?
Excellent, Brian. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Well, you know the feeling. I mean, how am I? It's hard to passionately cover effed up things in the news when it's hard to cover these things accurately unless you get personally invested. But that can also turn a good day into a crappy day because now you've taken on the energy of the horrible things that you're covering. How do you deal with that? You got to know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I hear you. Yeah, it gets to me once in a while, but yeah, I still enjoy immersing myself in it. But yeah, it does take a toll from time to time I completely agree.
Yeah, we're about 3 years, a couple months in, and I'm not stopping. So, I'm finding a way to compartmentalize it for sure. I told people earlier to check out some of the earlier shows. You've been on a few, more than a few actually, on Agree to Disagree, and talked about John B. Wells from last week and all the NBA stuff with our scout Zach Barris. But something, as I was thinking about our birthday just there, to think, oh yeah, it's been 3 years and almost 2 months. Blake also, for the listeners, y'all, Blake came out here to Los Angeles, and we went to the United We Stand Festival and got a ton of awesome interviews. Those are all archived on the newamericanmedia.com and the YouTube channel. Who was there? Can you remember? Pop quiz, hotshot.
Pop quiz. Let's see. We talked to Ben Swan, Adam Kokesh, Luke Radowski, Dan Johnson, Abby Martin, Rosa Corey, Amber Lyon, Immortal Technique, Sean Stone, and Tatiana Moroz. Was it 10 or 11 interviews? I forget. I think that's certainly most of them. Who did I forget?
Wow, good question. Who did we forget? I don't know, but I just, in that time it took, I came up with the sound effects, so if you talked slower, you're going to say, talked with Immortal Technique, talked with Adam Kokesh, talked with Rosa Corey. Anyway, I digress. I really want a producer with all the sound effects in front, like an special effects pad. I don't know. We'll get to that later. But yeah, the point
Hire
is,
an engineer in due time.
Yeah, in due time. Hey, but you know what? We're having more and more people contributing to the New American Media, which is fantastic. I actually just got a message from somebody today. We've sent out a few calls to people that want to participate. We're a burgeoning news outlet, an alternative voice in a sea of bought and paid for corporate bullcrap. And people are responding. I mean, we have correspondents in Boston covering the Justina Pelletier case, where she was released, and have people covering March Against Monsanto. Yeah, it's good. So if you guys are interested in joining the New American Media, what's the easiest way? Lord help me, I don't know. Send a direct message. Well, maybe I'm not following you back. You can't do a direct message. You know what? Just contact us. Leave a message in one of our YouTube videos. Just find us. We're not hard to find, but we are gathering more people in. But Blake has definitely joined the team. You're definitely doing your own thing, but you're definitely joining our team. And we need a lot more people. But it was really cool seeing... maybe 2 hours ago, got a message. Hey, I saw something on your site. You're looking for people to contribute. I want to do that. How do I start? I'm like, you just did. Now tell me what you're interested in. Grab a story and go, or I'll assign you something and stay on it. Obviously, right now, I would grab, if someone's saying, all right, what do? I'd say cover the border. Every angle, cover the border, since our border patrol can't do it. I'd say cover the IRS phony scandal. Because there's a lot of weird stuff going on in this world. It's very intentional, it's very orchestrated, it's very deliberate, and it's all made us think, it's bumbling incompetence, or it's just some political partisan nonsense. No. This is part of a much greater plan to destroy. And if you don't feel it, I just got to say you're probably not awake at this point. But, Blake, I wanted to start off with this story here. This thing bugged me when I saw it, and... looking at it now, I mean, it still bothers me. So I'm gonna play some of this. I kind of cued you in on the fact that we're going to talk about this story. This is where is this? Off of rare.us. The story says, after receiving maybe I don't even need to. Here, I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to let the story unfold, and I'll stop.
Is it 9 minutes long, or is it?
Well, I'm not going to play all of it, but we're going to give you enough of it, because if people think, that IRS thing, it didn't happen to me, I don't need to worry. Well, guess what? It could happen to you next year. Or the Democrats, it's our guy in charge. Wait till there's a Republican in there, or a libertarian you don't have to worry about. Okay, that doesn't affect me. The border, that doesn't affect me. I live in Baltimore. That's all the way down there. Guess what? They're shipping them to you. All these things affect you. A lot of people want to put their heads in the sand. But this concept of the police becoming over-militarized is just... It's an issue that you and I cover in great detail. So let me just play a little bit of this, and we'll just kind of jump in and give some perspective to it.
About 15 minutes ago, I got a phone call from Utah Animal Control calling to tell me that an officer had shot and killed my dog. He was inside the backyard in a fenced-off area. What was the cause for an officer to shoot and kill my dog? I just arrived at my house. There's Utah Animal Control. And the officers involved in killing my dog. Now I want to know who shot my dog and what the probable cause was to trespass on private property and kill my animal. Which officer shot my dog, please?
He's not here.
He left?
He's not here.
Okay, it's probably a good thing.
You're looking at 2 police officers, and I don't know, in full uniforms, and it looks like maybe a female police officer in kind of plainclothes, khakis, and black shirt. At least one neighbor standing off on the side, kind of watching here.
What was the probable cause to trespass on private property and kill my dog?
We were looking for a lost child.
And that gives you probable cause to enter a private residence without permission from the owner.
We were looking for a lost child, says the policeman in the middle.
We'll provide a case number for you and document it.
Okay, officer, can I get your name and your police officer number? Thank you.
Sergeant Sear from the Salt Lake City Police Department, and the case number is 99228.
Could you say that one more time?
All right, while they go through the details of the case number and whatnot, you're seeing more and more of this, where police are going in and shooting animals, and it's kind of that shoot first,
So what was the probable cause to kill
ask questions
my dog?
later mentality.
Sir,
Did my
to kill an animal does not exist. Probable cause is something.
I'm asking why you guys went on my property.
Let me get that part one more time. I might have talked over it.
99228.
Thank you. So what was the probable cause to kill my dog?
Sir,
Did my
to kill an animal does not exist.
Sir, probable cause to kill an animal does not exist. Wow. Okay.
Probable cause is something.
I'm asking why you guys went on my property and why he felt the need to kill my dog.
Okay, I can explain the basic circumstances, and that is that he entered the yard looking for a lost child. He was threatened by the dog, and he shot the dog.
He entered the property looking for a lost child. He was threatened by the dog, so he shot the dog. Blake, this is just part of a bigger trend of kind of blanket reasons why the police do what they do. We've seen similar stories. I mean, obviously not specifically to a dog or a fenced-in yard or in Utah or something specific, but we're hearing a lot of reasons why there needs to be hyper-militarized, aggressive actions from the police. I mean, you've been seeing this a lot lately, right?
Yeah, you see, there's a lot of stories like that, and well, the guy, if we continue to listen to the audio, will explain that as well.
You know what? Let's do that.
That's as simple as it gets.
He was threatened by the dog. So backing up slowly and leaving the residence is not an option?
We're going to give you case number.
Yeah, and at this point, the police officer's done. He says, sir, we're going to give you a case number, blah, blah, blah. The man asks a very valid question. He says, why didn't you just back away? I mean, that seems valid to me, Blake.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I'm kind of a dog person. I'm usually friendly towards dogs. I usually don't have an issue with them. I don't know why they can't just try to, make friends at some extent. I don't know what kind of dog it was. I listened to the video. I didn't actually watch it, so I don't really know if this dog was really that threatening or if they had a reason. I'm trying to figure out exactly all the circumstances. But, yeah, I guess there was a missing child, so he went to check out that property and somehow got in there. And then, yeah, on private property, shot this poor dog. And
yeah, I mean, you just got to wonder what right do they have to go into this person's private property? And if so, if you're entering somebody's property, I don't know that there was a warrant obtained. So that would be
how big was the threat? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going into somebody's backyard. from what he shows, it's a very big fence. A baby's not gonna, or a child. I'm still trying to get information on this. But why this yard? And when you walked in and saw, why would you just barge into a backyard without wondering if there's a dog there? And if so, why wouldn't you close the gate behind you? None of this story makes sense. Let's hear this guy ask some more questions. It's
Do you have any questions besides the ones you're asking me right now?
Yes, can I have the officer's name and badge number that killed my dog?
I don't have his badge number. It's
His name, please?
Officer Olson.
Officer Olson, and is he with the Salt Lake City Police?
Yes.
Or is he with Unified Police?
No, Salt Lake City.
Okay, thank
What's
you.
your name, sir?
My name is Sean Kendall. I am the owner and occupant of this residency. Is that S-E-A-N? Yes, it is.
so now they're
D-A-L-L.
switching and swapping
Is
information
that
here.
relevant to the case?
I'm going to be doing an amendment to the report.
So you have my address and my name. That's adequate information. Thank you.
What is your address here? Is it 2465?
2465 South, 1500 East.
Do you have a phone number I can put down?
I do, but you can contact me through this residency. An officer is more than welcome to stop by.
Do you have any phone number we can reach you at all?
I do, but I don't feel comfortable giving that at this time.
Why would you feel comfortable doing anything at this time?
I'll write down the case number on both. Would you want just the one case number?
Both would be great because you will be hearing from me and my lawyer.
As they should.
And I understand it wasn't you personally, but you guys killed my dog. I've had this dog for 3 years. He was my best friend, and he was shot because an officer couldn't back the fuck up out of my house.
Silence.
Is that against policy? Is that against training?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I really do. I understand.
There's a problem with officers killing animals for no reason. You look online, it's everywhere.
It is.
Did the officer at least have the decency to kill him in the first shot so he didn't suffer? Or do I have multiple gun wounds in what I consider my child?
Sean, I don't know. I wasn't here.
So I gotta bury my dog because an officer couldn't back up and close the f***ing gate.
They're all hanging
Something's
their heads.
gotta change. And I know it wasn't you, I'm sorry. I'm pissed. What happened was wrong. Right across the street, that dog has bitten 2 dogs and almost lunged at a little child. But nobody comes to do that. And then kill my dog inside my house? Now I gotta bury him, clean the blood, and take care of my dog. Because an officer couldn't back the fuck up.
So anyway, he drops the camera at this point, and you kind of get the picture. It goes on for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, what I was
I
going to
don't
say.
understand what he was. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we could probably pick it up from here real quick. The last part of this.
I'm now inside my house. I just got done speaking with the officers. And as I walk to my back door, I see my dead dog lying on the ground. This is the gate that the officer most likely walked through. As you can see, there's a significant amount of distance between the gate and my dog. Why didn't the officer just back up and leave? Why did he feel the need to escalate the situation to a point where he had to shoot my dog in the head?
And that's one of the points that I've had, Blake. I was almost thrown down a flight of stairs by the LAPD. You and I have talked about this before.
Right.
You know, at a gathering with some friends, and there was a noise complaint. And these police officers were confrontational, argumentative, and trying to escalate a situation as opposed to calm a situation down. I've worked in bars my whole life, as have you, and you know a good bouncer that gets people to leave and shake your hand and smile on the way out, and you get somebody else that you piss off enough where they say, I'm going to get my gun, I'm coming back for you, you son of, you know. There's a way you treat people that is reciprocal. And my experience with the LAPD almost throwing me down a flight of stairs for standing at my friend's home with a glass of water and flip-flops. No, it was an unnecessary escalation toward physical altercation where there didn't need to be one. And I think that this man on this video, he makes that great point. Why did they escalate this situation?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know why what reason he had that he knew that this missing kid was on this property where he could go and just do that, or he was justified to do something like that. I mean, just because you have a suspicion, you got to get a warrant. I don't even understand what's going to. I want to hear the explanation from the cop. Of course, he left and was not on the scene there, but yeah, I mean, and this guy did the right thing by getting the camera going and filming this, and he's already well aware that yes, and we see these videos, and I don't want to say that every week, but it almost seems like it. And you see these all kinds of stories, and people can go look that up and just find, police kill dog. Yeah, that's the way they've been. They seem to be training lately. I don't know, maybe a cop got bitten somewhere sometime, and then they just train the cops that just not to take any chances. Or I don't know exactly, but it is a disturbing trend, and a lot of the dogs that they kill are actually friendly dogs, and that's what's even worse when you see like the pictures of their happy dogs and their families and stuff like that, and it could have been handled so much differently. And why can't they try to befriend the dog before they just start shooting?
Why notice that? Why not take a second to notice that there's a dog on the property, to come up with a plan, and I don't know, maybe knock on the front door, maybe figure something out. But this is part of something much greater than just this one incident in Utah. This kind of speaks to the militarization of our police in general, Blake. I mean, this is something you've been covering with police departments that are funny. I'm talking about animals as my cat jumps in my studio here, but you've been covering this with Department of Homeland Security rolling in with tanks and all these obscure government agencies arming up to the teeth, and you're sensing just a very aggressive militarization of our local police. I mean, can you talk about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're getting all kinds of goodies. They're being trained that the returning veterans and, Tea Party groups and gun owners are going to be the new terrorists and people that are, question the integrity of the government. And, yeah, they're getting all kinds of fancy equipment, these MRAP tanks these police departments are taking. So they seem to be preparing for something to happen. And then part of it is just the mentality or what they're getting the cops nowadays. 'Cause I don't think I remember hearing stuff like that way back when, cops just killing dogs. But now it's just like an epidemic. And I mean, like little dogs too. Like they just will not even hesitate at all. And it's not even like threatening dogs. Like it'd be someone's like corgi or something, and it's like that's just their first instinct, not to take any chances. And it doesn't make any sense.
What was that thing that happened like a week or two ago with the baby in the crib? This was another case of did it really need to come to this? There was a you know what I'm talking about from a week or two ago?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it happened. I wanted to say it happened in Wisconsin. I'm not 100% on that, but yes, there's been an epidemic of SWAT team raids, and they broke into this house, early in the morning, a big raid, and they threw a flashbang in, and it happened to land inside of a toddler's crib, and when it blew up, I mean, it did so much damage. This kid is clinging on to life right now. Apparently has his just blown, done a lot of damage to his chest and burns, including, I guess his ribs are exposed. I mean, it's horrifying, the amount of damage that those things can do.
Would this be the one was this the one in Northeast Georgia 1-year-old kid?
I'm not sure. It could be. I think he was about a year and a half old.
Toddler critically burned in SWAT raid.
That could be it.
No-knock warrant. SWAT team hit the home's front door with a battering ram.
Yeah, they were looking for, and they weren't even, the thing they were looking for wasn't even there. Apparently it was like a nephew of the residents, and who wasn't even staying there at the time. But they did it anyway. And that's the thing I don't understand. And there's a lot of these cases with these SWAT teams. They're getting the wrong house, or they break in, they do what they're supposed to do, they set out to do, and then they don't actually find anything that they're looking for. So I don't understand why they would, get into somebody's house unless they were 100% sure that they were there and they could catch them red-handed with whatever they're looking for. But that hasn't been the case at all when you start looking at all these cases. And it's actually a total epidemic. It's gone up. I'm going to have to pull up an article here. I know I found one the other day about these SWAT teams.
Yeah, I'm seeing here the baby's family moved into the Cornelia residence after their Wisconsin home burned.
Yeah.
So there might be the Wisconsin reference. Yeah, and okay. So they're saying someone's charged with distribution of methamphetamine. So, I mean, it's
80. Yeah.
No, it's just this war on drugs. Okay. So someone's doing drugs. So we got to get violent and shoot things and flashbang grenades and busting through doors and these are very dangerous situations. What was the one with the woman was stripped naked, and what was that one? That was another one that just happened this week.
Yeah, that was. They broke into the house, same thing. They used a flashbang, and apparently it made it got close enough to their cat to make it render it deaf, I guess. Totally scared the
8 lives out of it.
Anyway. Right.
Scared the kitty litter out of it.
So so this lady was actually, I guess, up early and was getting out of the shower, and they told her to basically, drop the towel, not allowed to put her clothes on. They had the handcuffs on her so tight she couldn't barely circulate the blood, and then, terrorize the boyfriend, absolutely trashed the house. Supposedly it was over, they said that they thought there was maybe a lead of, child pornography, which is a, serious enough issue, but they weren't running it. And they didn't take any of their equipment or their computers, and they just deliberately trashed their house. I mean, including the glass shower doors they shattered. Why would you need to shatter, glass shower doors unless you were just basically trying to trash the place because you can? You're above the law. I guess, I work for the government. I can do whatever I want. And, so they did that. And here, I'm pulling up some statistics. There was a very excellent Michael Snyder article, which is found on many different publications out there. It's called 10 Facts About the SWATification of America That Everyone Should Know. And it's just saying in the last about 30 years or so, there used to be 3,000 SWAT raids a year in the United States in 1980, but now there are 80,000 SWAT raids per year in this country. And let's see here, 36% of the raids, no contraband of any kind is actually found. So, I mean, that's just staggeringly bad numbers. That means 2/3 of the time they don't find what they're even looking for. So how would they go in and that's it serves a useful purpose to have a SWAT team, but as I said earlier, I mean, that just seems like you have to be 100% on that. If you're going to go and make a major bust like that, and you want to find them red-handed, you want to find them early in the morning, you want to find them when they're the most vulnerable, you want to make sure that they're there, of course, you would think you would take every precaution. But I mean, their numbers just don't make any sense. I don't understand how they can get away with that and how that's...
Well, and on top of it, it's something, as you covered this story and I was listening to it, I couldn't participate in that program, but, Dan Johnson from Panda, along with a few other people, have either been warned or run into situations where accusations of having child pornography have been levied. And if you can do these no-knock flashbang grenade raids over maybe having pictures of something that you're not supposed to have, it's just insane. If you're building weapons in your garage that could blow up a neighborhood or something, okay, that's a very dangerous situation. I don't know how a picture can shoot back at somebody that can knock on the door and come in. You know, drugs, they're drugs. I just don't understand the escalation to violence like that. That's the thing about the lady that was thrown on the ground and stripped naked, and they were oogling her and wouldn't cover her up and ransacked the house. Oh, someone said you had pictures. Well, how do you prove that? That could happen to anybody. Look at the IRS. They've been targeting Tea Party people, liberty-minded groups that are opposing these horrible policies by this administration and the previous administration, by the way. You can just be targeted for any reason. The IRS says, go after them. Okay, so go after these two people. Say it's child porn. Do it. That'll be great. It'll shake them up. It'll put the fear of God into them. Yeah, they'll think twice before they run their mouth again. They'll know. Yeah, we can Michael Hastings these people. No, we can do it. We can Breitbart them. No, that's a little too much. How about we just scare the crap out of them? What about this one, Blake, where cops shoot to death homeless man in New Mexico for camping? Let me play this one real quick. I think it's 40 seconds.
Bus stop. I have the right to kill you right now because you're trying to take me over. Don't get stupid with me.
We're not going to get stupid.
You said we were walking out of here, now you're bringing up assault and everybody's going to get hurt again? All right, don't change up your agreement. I'm going to try to walk with you.
All right.
Love folks. Don't try to harm them. Keep your word. I can keep you safe. All right? Don't worry about safety. I'm not a fucking murderer. All right? Try to harm me. Try to harm you. All right?
Do it.
Get on the ground!
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Don't make fun of me.
Put up!
And he's dead.
Moving up!
Good job. You just killed this guy camping.
Get your hands up!
Still got the knife in his hand? Still got the knife in his hand.
Still got his knife in his hand. Stepping up behind you. You moving?
His hands, he's still armed.
Yep.
Get your hands out.
Get
Drop
your hands
the knife.
up. Lean back. Right behind you. Put your hands out to your side and drop the knife. Hands out to your side.
Beanbag! Beanbag!
Drop the knife.
Drop the knife!
Drop the knife.
Still got the knife in his hand? Dog on him? Negative effect. Still got a dog on him? I can get him on him. Yeah, I don't want that knife in his head.
Okay, that was horrible. I'm sure you're aware of that one as well.
Straight up murdered that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did see that. That
For
was
camping.
absolutely disturbing.
What are you doing camping? Wow.
He's a homeless guy. There was no reason to go after him at all. Homeless guy. You think he may be doing the, getting out of the way, not interfering with the city, just trying to live off the land, and then they go and just interrogate him and terrorize him, and then just totally straight up murdered that guy.
Yeah. I mean, and I covered that Kelly Thomas murder by the Fullerton Police Department, and you watch this stuff, and it's like there's this homeless guy, and he's on the ground, he has no weapon, he's sitting on the concrete curb. You don't need to kill this guy. You don't need to escalate this to violence. He's not swinging and stammering and throwing knives into a crowd at Disneyland or something. He's not an immediate threat to anyone. Why do you have to kill? This guy's up on a ridge. I don't know. Why do you kill him? Why do you have to go into someone's backyard and shoot a dog? This is part of a much greater problem of an over-aggressive police force that's becoming more and more like... You heard stories about...
Third world country or something, yeah.
Third world country or Germany, when they go around shaking people down and killing people and family members disappearing. I mean, what are the people supposed to do, Blake?
Do exactly what that guy did in that first video, and go and videotape it and confront it and shame these people, expose it. That's exactly. And go to the media or become the media or upload the video if you have to. And yeah, it's time for everybody to sit down and be exposed to this stuff and have a dialogue about this. What are we going to do as a country going forward? Are we allowing this precedent to continue? This is not the way we do things here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
I'm curious to see how many of those cases happened back in the day, if there's a way to get those statistics. How many police officers killed dogs back in the 1960s, for example?
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. And
right.
Okay, a missing child, so you're looking for a child. You don't need to go in someone's backyard and shoot a dog.
Unless you know that they're there. If they knew that the child was in that house, or if they had very, very good reason to know.
But it's the same. It's the same thing with my run-in with LAPD. You know what they say? They don't say noise complaint because then they'd actually have to have a noise complaint on file, and most people don't put their name down in a file. And if you don't, then they don't usually take it seriously. They show up and say, "We had reports that there's an underage person drinking here." No, you didn't. Show me that report. We don't have to show you. Oh, okay. That's a great lie. I like that lie. That was pretty cool. Nice lie.
Right.
Oh, hey, guess what? You had child porn. I had what? No, I'm not a deviant. No, you have it. Guess what? There's a missing boy somewhere around here, and we thought he was back here. According to what? What probable cause led you to believe something was in my backyard while I was at work and my dog was back there? What was your probable cause? And that's the thing. How do you prove a negative? How do you disprove something that's a lie? It's hard to disprove just a lie. I mean, I'm assuming there probably was a missing child in this neighborhood, but what if there wasn't? I mean, you could make up any story. And that's where half these false flag rumors come from is, oh, well, this bad thing happened, so, yep, here we go. Here's the story, and we're going to take some of your rights away. I don't know, Blake. I just wanted to cover this because the Kelly Thomas thing made me sick to my stomach. This camper in New Mexico just getting shot to death. I don't know how many of them are here on scene. 8 of them with a canine unit. And, you just break into someone's backyard and kill their dog. For what? You had child porn. We're gonna ransack your house and not take anything. And, yep, now you're naked. Here, get naked. And we're going to strap your hands in. And we're just going to look at you for a while and really put the fear of God into you. For what reason? I don't know. I mean, the jury's out on that case if we have more information, but I don't know, man.
I think there's an angle where she might have also been a part of the DHS or part of one of these groups. So I got to see how that angle works in and how that fits into it.
All right. Well, we'll keep following.
Still didn't take anything. From what I know, they just shook her down, scared her for a couple of hours, and then left. Just, very, very bizarre. And we can't put up with that, and we can't allow it to happen. So thankfully, they did the right thing, and they exposed it. Because more people that expose it, the less chance they have, because then they have to answer for it at some point. They can't run away from it forever, but otherwise, if nobody says anything and scares everybody and people are too scared to act out, then it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I don't know. One of these things, okay, the SWAT team with the little baby and the flashbang grenade. All right, there was meth in the house, drugs were being, and obviously not good things. All right, a little benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to assume that a lot of the police officers are good guys. I've run into some of them, and I've also had some not so good experiences. Okay, so in New Mexico, all right, maybe there's a little bit of a reasonable doubt or all right, give benefit of the doubt. What about Fullerton police? What about what was that guy in New York that shot 100 times reaching for his wallet or something, unarmed man? Another officer stopped to reload. You just kind of go on down the line, and it's just you go at some point. We've connected the dots here. This is turning bad real quick, and we have to treat these stories as if it's somebody that we know, as if it's us, because it can be us next. And I'm telling you, when I was almost thrown down a flight of stairs, and when I got down there, I had another LAPD officer in my face, confronting me. I could feel his breath on me out of his nose. He was challenging me. He's like, really? You want to go? You want to go? All right, have you been drinking tonight? Are you in public? You in public? You been drinking tonight? Like taunting me, like with this look on his face, like, I'm going to crack your skull, buddy. And it was after that I saw the Kelly Thomas murder in Fullerton by the police. And you go, this is what they're doing. I freaking felt it. It happened to me. Over nothing. I wasn't dealing meth. I don't know, whatever. And it did reach out and grab me. So when I see these stories, I'm trying to put it out there that this can happen to anybody, and we have to demand better from the people that we employ. I mean, just the basic truth of it is that these people work for us. They lost that. They don't understand that, and they have an us versus them mentality. But them is us, So I don't know. I just had to cover this because it was disgusting, and it doesn't really fit in with the IRS information that we're getting. And this is what happens when a government targets people that are of a different political persuasion. They become enemies, and then when they become enemies, you target them financially. How much longer before the actual physical violence and raids happen? I mean, this is a slippery slope we're on right now as our southern border is being invaded. So what I want to do, Blake, is I just want to kind of hit reset. We'll splice this episode off in post-production. But real quick, tell people about your show, Eccentric Perspective, and what you do and where people can get more information about you.
All right, well, I have the website eccentricperspective.com, and I run a radio show 3 days a week called The Eccentric Perspective. That's on Freedomizer Radio Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 12 to 1:30 Pacific. And you can get the podcast by going and searching for iTunes for Eccentric Perspective. And yeah, I basically cover the news in my own independent way. Because I really can't get my news from the mainstream media. So, I'm sick of hearing it from them, so I've decided to get involved and help do it myself. So if you want to get a different angle on the news, you can go check me out, as I've already said. And, yeah, I think that's good for now, Brian.
All right, well, let's do this. We'll hit reset here on the TNAM Radio Network. My name is Brian Engelman. You are listening to Agree to Disagree here on thenewamericanmedia.com.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.